process, didn't expect that, you know it all and you know what to do, and gave you insight before you got embarrassed. So when you prepared something, this guy was able to go and tell us, hey, make sure you do this, or I would hold this back, or I would do this. A lot of times people just kind of set you forward and now you're on your own. But Dr. Acharya has been one of those people that we all on campus really enjoy working with, and I always appreciate him coming in and being able to give an overview of grants, because he can certainly do a better job than most of us can on campus. So, Sushil, welcome.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. As you can see, my name is Sushil Acharya. I'm an associate provost. I do wear multiple hats, but I'm going to wear the first hat for today, research. Okay. And I'm also a professor of software engineering. My background is in software engineering. So I'm going to take you through research grant process. I feel that somewhere where you work, sometimes you will need to apply for money. It's such a situation that you have ideas, you want to get things done, but guess what? Money becomes a factor. Okay? But if you're able to look for an opportunity, write a nice proposal, and of course, patience. Okay? It's not like one time you submit, you're going to get it. Okay? If you don't, you submit. Okay? If you can go through that path, you will definitely get a grant. You will be awarded, rewarded, you will be gratified. Basically, when you say that, you will really enjoy doing what you want to do. I speak, in this way because I've lived the process. I've applied for a grant, I failed. Okay, I got upset. I said, you know what, I'm never going to do this again. But then I'm thinking, you know what, why not? But the first proposal is always difficult. It takes hours and hours of time. Put that through. But the second proposal, take a look at the reviewer's comments and say, I'm going to improve this, improve this, improve this. You have a better chance. So it takes less time. So for me, it was like, the first time, it got denied. I got really upset. I told my department head and team, I'm not going to apply. Then when that deadline came in, I said, let me think about this. And then I went back, I'm going to say, cooler head, right? Okay. And then I said, let's take a look at this and see what I need to do. So I have to, make my story short here. Fourth attempt, I got my grant. Okay, fourth attempt, I got my grant. You can understand the patience. Okay. So let me take you through the process of what I think is. I'm going to talk about grants. Why do you want to do it? As I said earlier, because you have a need, because you want to do something, because there's no money in other places, and budget is always short everywhere. Okay, even in companies that give out bonuses, budget is still short for the things that you want to do. Okay, I'm going to talk about a generic grant process. I'm going to talk about the role of the principal investigator. They go by different names. Sometimes they're called project director. Okay, it depends. I'm going to briefly talk about the budget. Okay, it is so important that when you prepare your proposal or write your proposal, you have to have what I call financial mirror of what you want to do. That's your budget. Okay, that's your budget. I'm also going to briefly touch on the IRB. I'm sure IRB, Institutional Review Board, maybe it's already covered in some of your classes, many of your classes already. And then finally, I'm going to talk about the proposal status. So, let's say, why do you want to get grants? Okay, carry out your research, especially in the academia, it's your research. You want to pursue something, you want to write papers, you want to have papers published in journals, but you want to start your research or continue your research. And funding helps. Funding helps. It doesn't matter. For me, I say, when faculty members come and talk to me, for example, I had a nursing faculty member come and talk to me this morning and say, Sushil, this is not much, only 5,000. I said, 5,000 is good. Let's go for it. Okay? I've had faculty members get grants at minimum at $800 to 1.2 million. So for me, it's like any grant is a grant. It helps in the process, and we want them to apply to that. Now, here in the academia, it may allow you to obtain a reduced teaching load, meaning to say that it's not just about getting the grant. If you have a project team, it's about management. It's about working with your finance department. It's about working with your PR department. that means you get less time for teaching. So what we do in the academia is that we feel the need that, yes, you need to devote a lot of time in the research, let's do this. You're going to teach less this semester or the next semester and so on, because we want you to focus on the grant, on the research. Now, many times, if you're able to budget it properly, if you're able to justify it, okay, that's important. The budget part is good, the table is good, but then for each item, you have to justify why you want that. Okay, if you're able to justify, you can maybe get a summer salary. So, as you know, in the academia, full-time faculty members, they have a 9-month contract. Summer is pretty free, and they are able to draw a salary from a grant project. So they can work and draw a salary. We can employ student assistants. We can get travel funds to go to conferences, make presentations. Okay, so it's kind of interesting. And finally, as you can see again, from a, I would say, academia perspective here, it's about publications. Okay. People get to know you, people like talk to you, people call you. And I'm going to share my story as we go towards the end of what happened to me. Okay. I do apologize for the yellow screen. So you're just do it.
They're used to it.
It's been a while, so okay. So some of my diagrams are not coming through. But anyway, this is something that I came up with. Okay. So I begin with saying, you have an idea. You have a great idea, but you don't have the money to do it. Okay. You don't have the money to do it. You start off with writing a concept. What is it that you are trying to address? What do you want to do? Okay. The concept would have your objectives. It will have a research method. How do you plan to achieve that? It will talk about maybe I would need to form a team. So depending on the idea you have, it can be 2 pages, 3 pages, not too long. The concept is not a proposal. It's just what you're trying to do is, I'm going to say, mind map. What you have in your mind, just put it down on paper. So you don't lose it. You don't lose it. It's interesting to do that because it's important to do that. Because sometimes we think about it and we forget to write about it and we lose our ideas. I always tell my software engineering students, believe me, being a programmer is how I started my career, software programming. Sometimes you just get stuck with that program not working. Think and think and think, and you just want to get it done. It's not happening. Believe me, once it came in my dream, the solution was there. Somehow I woke up, and I wrote it down immediately, fell back asleep. And I feel that sometimes it happens because you're not fully asleep. You see what I mean? You're still doing something. And I tell my students, you know what? You should always have a notepad by your bedside. Something comes up, write it down. Remember? So what I'm trying to say here is that that's the concept. Okay, think about it. Okay, and put it down in a paper. Write it down. Then comes the proposal part. But prior to that, as you can see that arrow there, you need to look for opportunities. Where are they? Okay, you have to understand that there are opportunities out there. The federal, the state, they have money. Okay. Likewise, there are foundations. They carry the family name. Okay, they want to give out money. There are companies, corporations who have money that they want to give out to the community. Okay, so there are many areas that you can look for information, but you need to seek that opportunity. Then you would write a proposal. This is all positive, okay? You're gonna get the grant. Okay, so you get the grant. And then you start working, and down there you'll see all the gratifications. All the things that you have, promotion, recognition, you have scholarly work, you have network. And of course, you build your resume. Think about it. In your resume, you can say, I got this grant. What's so much? Okay. So these are the steps one should follow. Again, it's a generic process, and depending on the opportunity, things can change. It might be slightly different. Maybe the way you write proposal might be different. The way they want you to write the proposal might be different. Okay? So this is what I call the generic process. So the question is, how do we get started? But even before thinking about where should we look for, what should we look for, it's important for us to understand our role. If this is your idea, if this is your baby, then you need to think about what your role is in this project. Okay? So this is where I talk about the PI. In the research world, PI means principal investigator. Okay, the key person. Okay, the CEO of that project. This is the individual that will look at this. Okay, so let's take look at a few definitions. I'm not going to read through them. Okay, as I said, federal government defines them differently. The National Science Foundation, the National Institute of Health, they have different definitions of what a PI is. Okay, what a PI is. Along with the PI, depending on your project size, this faculty who came this morning, $5,000, I don't expect her to have a co-PI. But when you have a larger project and you are not the expert, you are not the total expert in that because there are various components to it, then you would like to form a team and the other members will be your co-PIs. Okay, other members will be your co-PIs and they will also have to do certain things related to the project. Now, the principal investigator must participate to a significant intellectual degree in a sponsored project. That means the PI knows. It's the PI's idea. Okay, so the PI needs to know that. He or she needs to bear the primary responsibility for all essential aspects of work. Okay, because the grant agency is going to approach the PI, not the co-PI. The PI is the interface. Okay, so he or she has to be the person responsible, accountable for anything that needs to be done. Now, of course, you may have staff, you may have other people, you may delegate tasks, but again, coming back to my point earlier, ultimately responsible. Okay, so as I go through this, let me tell you my story, my concept, my idea. Okay, so when I joined Robert Morris University back in 2004, I was given a syllabus to say, go ahead and teach this. 15 years in the industry, things have changed. My field, software field, changes overnight. Okay, it's not like physics or chemistry. I can say, you know what, I can still use my grandfather's slides to learn things. Things have changed. Okay, so what that means to say here is that I was thinking, if we are going to teach these things to the student, they are not going to be competitive in the market. They're going to have a hard time finding a job. Okay. One of the major issues we have in software is software quality. Okay. I'm sure all of you must have experienced your software not working, your software hanging. Website, guess what? It was working yesterday, it's not working today. You log in and you're looking for where's the log out, you can't even find the log out, you're scared. You put in your credit card number, you don't know what's happening, where did it go? There's no response from the other side. You see what I mean? All these are quality issues. And so I said, you know what? If we're going to teach this class, we're going to have a focus on software quality. Okay? I did some research. Guess what? No one has the materials that I can use to teach. Okay? Everyone has it up here, but don't have it in paper. Don't have it in a format that can be easily shareable. Okay? And then I said, you know what? That gives me an idea. I am going to contact a few universities. I am going to contact a few colleagues here in Oregon. I'm going to form a team. I'm going to contact a few industry partners that I have and bring them on board and establish something called an industry academia partnership. What we're going to do, we're going to come up with 44 contact delivery hours of materials that can be used to teach students. Okay, that was my idea. So what you can see here is that I was the PI, I had an idea, I had the concept, I formed a team, I felt it was good. Now the other important thing here in academia is to have your support from your department head, from your dean, all the way up to the provost. I did get that as well. Okay, that's one thing that I love about Robert Morris University, and I brag about it. I mean to say that you can come up with ideas, people are really supportive. It's not like, you have that red tape, bureaucratic process, let's wait for a while, no, let's get it done yesterday. That's the thing that we focus on. So, as I was saying, we went through the process, okay, and I did all of this, understanding that I had these type of responsibilities. Responsibility for the program, responsibility for the administration, for the monitoring, the fiscal, and then the compliance. The compliance. Mean to say that what happened if we wouldn't do it, but what would happen if the task I gave to my co-PI was not his or her own? What happened if he or her, for the sake of trying to get the task done, plagiarized the document, put it in the report and said, hey, I got it done, so said, we're good. Now, I can't just say, yeah, we're good, let's go ahead, put it, give it to the National Science Foundation. It's my responsibility to see that everything is good. It's my responsibility to see that when we do surveys, we do have consent on the other side. They are open, they are okay to do the surveys. When we take pictures in the classroom, we make sure that we're okay to share those pictures. So think about it. There are lots of compliance responsibilities that we need to focus on. Okay? So these are just a couple of programmatic responsibilities. Focus on your project aim. Okay? Hire, fire personnel. And even in my project, I came across a situation where, guess what? Some of my people were not working. Yeah, they're my friends, but guess what? They're not working. What do? Do I go with a friend? Or do I say, you know what? I really want to get this correct. I want to get it right. I want to make sure that my name and the institution's name. Okay? Forget about friendship at this point. So I did have to fire 2 individuals and hire another individual. Okay? So those are things that we have to do. It's like project management. Okay? You have to, take some hard decisions and you have to live with it, which is fine. Okay? If there are changes that you need for your project, you are the PI who's supposed to request a change. My project was a 2-year project. I had some money left, and my project was really successful. Okay, I had a workshop planned in my project. We did it in year 2, but then I had more people wanting to come for the workshop. Okay, and I couldn't take them in year 2. I had money left, so I wrote to the National Science Foundation saying that, you know what, you don't have to pay any one of us, but since we have some money left, I'd like to have another workshop. So that means anything that relates to what you want to do in your project changes. Okay, the PI has to do it. The data. Okay, you're going to collect a lot of data along the way. This is how are you going to protect it? How are you going to keep it? How are you going to maintain it? All those are very, very important. And then as you can see here, progress reports. So my grant was from the National Science Foundation. We consider the National Science Foundation grant very prestigious and very competitive. It's very hard to get. Okay. Of course, maybe not for CMU and Pitt, where there's a lot of research happening, everyone's a researcher there. Here we're like applied faculty. Our focus is on applied education, not on research. So it's sometimes tough for us to get. Okay? And so the National Science Foundation has a cycle. This is when you're going to submit your report. You need to see it. Alert after alert saying, where's your report? Where's your report? To do it. So it is the PI who has to do it. Okay. Then there are fiscal administrative responsibilities. Okay. If there's a conflict of interest, I need to say that I need to shoot a video maybe, or I need to have something done. Maybe I can't get my brother-in-law to do it. You see what I mean? Because that might be a conflict of interest. Okay, we can't make that. I can't get my wife. Maybe she's qualified, but guess what? I can't have her do it. Conflict of interest. So it's not only me. I have to make sure that my team follows this. Okay, so that becomes very important. The scientific integrity of projects. We've heard many of these scenarios. We are, fabricating data just for the sake of getting things done. It's not the right way to do it. Okay, so we have to make sure that things are good. Then I have to also sign payroll authorizations. I have to pay my staff. Finance department will send me a form saying, Sushil, please sign here if you want your staff to get paid. So if you think about it, I'm a researcher, but guess what? I'm an administrator to make sure that they get paid on time. Okay? So as we move on, there is compliance. So there's where we're talking about IRB. Okay, we have to make sure all of those are there. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but again, those are important things. So this is a good diagram that I have. Well, what we're talking about is that as a PI, this is everything that you do. Okay, this is everything that you do. Okay, at the bottom you can see ethics and compliance, but then all around there you can see everything that the PI has to do. Okay. The reason that's develop proposal. Okay, the second one. I know it's not coming out too well. Yellow against yellow. So. But what I'm trying to say here is that you have to be ready to do this if you want to start on this journey of applying for a grant and getting a grant and executing the project. You have to understand all your responsibilities because once you get in, your name is at stake here. The institution's name is at stake. So you want to make sure that you're ready to come in. You're ready to say, yes, I want to do this. Okay? Now, I'm not scaring you. I'm not trying to scare you guys. But what I'm trying to say here is that once you get the hang of it, it becomes easy. Okay? Once you get the hang of it. So let's begin the process then. So you know the responsibility of the PI. The next step for you need to go ahead and write the concept. We're saying it's like 1,500 to 3,000 words. What is the need? What is your goals and objectives? What is the intellectual merit? Is there a broader impact? How is it going to be evaluated? Okay, let me take you through these steps in the proposal, in the project, lifetime. So as I said, for this project that I worked on, I realized there was a need. As I mentioned to you earlier, what we are teaching is not going to make our students competitive. So the need is there. We want to teach them current materials. Okay? We had a set of goals and objectives. Establish a partnership. Review current curriculum. Okay? So those were some of our objectives. The intellectual merit for my project, intellectual merit means to say that what are you contributing so that others can make use of it? What is the intellectual behind this? So for me, as I said earlier, 44 contact delivery hours of materials. That's what they can come up with. That's what I proposed. At the end, guess what? We did more than that. We have 60 contact hours of materials. And these are course modules. These are either a 25-minute duration or multiple of 25 minutes. Meaning to say that you can deliver 2 exercises in a 50-minute class, or you can deliver 1 exercise, but you can do it in 15 minutes, or you can do it in multiple classes. Okay? So those were the things that we came up with. Okay? So that's the first thing. You need to come up with that concept. Then down there, you can see something called broader impact. You can see broader impact. Okay? So what we're trying to say here, some grant agencies have this requirement, some don't. Okay? So what they're trying to say here is that federal grant agency would like to see these two, intellectual merit and broader impact. They would like to understand, okay, you've done this, who are you going to impact? Understand that the federal or the state or the government grants are our taxpayers' money. Okay? They're not generating money. It's our money. And they're giving back to the community. Okay? So if I tell them, you know what, I'm going to come up with this and I have like 15, 20 students in my class, they're going to benefit from this, they're not going to like it. That's not a broader impact. All you're doing is for our English students, you can do something in house. You don't need a grant. So the broader impact is how far are you going to go? What's going to happen? So my proposal said, you know what, we're going to come up with this, and 10 other universities in the country, they're going to use our materials. They're going to use it. Of course, I had to contact them first, get their commitment, get a letter of support from each one of them to say, if Dr. Acharya comes up with this, we'll use it. Okay? So that already, if you think about it, each of these 10 had 20 students. You already have 200 students per year being impacted with this. That's the broader impact. Okay? Now, in our case, what has happened, 32 universities in the country using our materials. Okay, so that's a big accomplishment. Okay? And some of them, what they did was that they kind of introduced a new course. It's called Software Verification Validation. That's the course that we have here. And said, we're going to use the same course. Everything is there. That's what makes the life of a faculty member so much easier. Right? Everything is there. The syllabus, the tests, the quizzes, everything is there. And then, so what we came up with, as I said, so many contact hours, 60 contact hours of material in the form of class exercises, in the form of case studies, open-ended questions, and then finally, videos. So we produce 4 videos that mimic what happens in the industry. Now, all of these categories of course materials that we came up with, they were verified, they were checked, they were actually executed in the industry. Okay, so we got feedback from them. They said, okay, so this is good. You wouldn't believe it. I acted on some of these videos. I wrote the script, low cost. We did it here, in-house production, but we got it done. Okay, so the broader impact is really huge. The final thing there is evaluation. Okay. So the federal government thinks that, okay, this is what you promised to do, and you said you've done it. But we want to hear from a third party, someone other than you, to say that you've done it. They have a requirement for an external evaluator, someone outside who looks at your, whatever you've done, and then writes an independent report and says, this is what they've done. Okay? So what we've been doing is that, and I have to say that that's, I think, how George and I became good friends also, right? At RMU, we use the School of Education and Social Science and external evaluators. We do program evaluation, process evaluation, formative, summative, studies, all of that. And George and his colleagues in the school, they have such good expertise, and they're very, very helpful in making things happen. So we use them. Okay? According to the federal regulation, this individual cannot be part of your department, cannot be in your school, it can be outside of the school, inside the university. That made it easier for us. And so we've actually done it. In my project, I had Dr. Mary Hansen as my external evaluator. Okay. So one thing that you want to do now is once you have your concept, then you really need to start looking for opportunities. You want to understand when is the due date, how often is the due date. Okay. Many federal grants opportunities, they're on an annual basis. So that means to say that was the reason it took me 4 years to get the grant. Okay. That means you apply, you get a feedback in maybe 6 months' time, and then you think over it for 6 months and you apply. Okay. But there are other opportunities which might run on a quarterly basis or a biannual basis, and so you have to understand what it is. Like say for example, you got this idea last night, you wrote the concept today, and you say, I want to do this, and maybe you come to my office, and I say, when is the deadline? And you say, Friday? I say, we're not going to do it. It's not going to happen. Okay. Friday is too short of a time to make these turnaround things. But having said that, the smaller project we've actually done. So this faculty member who came to me this morning, we got her proposal submitted at $5,000. It was one of those easy, simple questions. Okay, so it made it easy, right? So what we say is that if you're ready, start exploring now. Don't wait till tomorrow, because the next day might be your deadline. You're losing your time, right? You're losing your time. So what we say is that look for the funding agency. I began with Google. For me, I'm sure for you. So Google is my best friend. Okay, so I think Google has everything, the answers to my questions. And there's no harm. But you have to be able to filter out what is authentic and what is not. Okay, Google is going to give you all types of information. Okay, search online databases. Search funding agency websites. Okay, say for example, if you're a teacher, you're in a school district, and you want to get some money for your school district for some type of after-school program, some type of STEAM or STEM program, then maybe the Department of Education has some money. So that's where you want to focus on, Department of Education. Now, as part of your studies here, you're also doing a lot of literature review. One of the good things about these literature reviews is not just the findings of these individual researchers, but also to take a look at the back where they provide acknowledgement to say, this research was possible because of the funding I received from this agency. There you go, bingo. That's what you want. You have that information. You can look for if your research aligns with that paper that you just found. Okay? For all NSF papers that I have written, I have to acknowledge NSF. Okay? I have to have that there. Okay? You want to maybe talk to people in your networking society if you're a member of a professional society. You don't need to share your concept, just talk about ideas. One thing important you have to understand is that your concept is your intellectual property. It's your idea. Just don't want to throw it out. Okay, someone else might take it and then get a grant and you just watch it, right? So that's your intellectual property. Share what you need to, not everything. Okay, that's so much important. Ask others in your department or your school, and here at our review, you can ask for research. Okay? As I said, money is there. You just have to be able to find it. Okay? You have federal, foundation, professional association, you have the business, you have the state, local. So what we're looking at here is that there's money out there. Okay? But what we have to do is that make sure that that's what we want to apply for, and our research is aligned with what they want to do. Okay? As I'm saying, foundations can be corporate foundations, it can be private foundations, personal foundations. Okay? They have a certain idea on who they want to give the money to. So it's not like, hey, this is my research idea, please give me money. That's not how it works. This is my research idea. This is what you would want, you would fund. I may have to, and I will have to tweak my research ideas. They're not going to tweak. We have to do that. We have to make changes to our concept so that they can fund us. So we have to be open-minded in the sense that should we have to change a couple of our ideas, we'll do it. We'll make it happen. Okay? While searching, make sure you use the right keywords, a combination of keywords. 100% match is always difficult to find. It's good how the browsers have changed over the years. Natural language is very effective these days. Just like you speak, you can type that in, it'll find something for you, right? So that's very good. As I said, research area, please think about tweaking it. Okay. Understanding where it's funded helps. Understanding what has been funded helps. Now, the federal or the government, they do a better job of this, the last 2 points here, than the foundations or the private institutions. Okay. Number one, federal grant agencies are required to provide you reviewers' feedback. They have to provide it. That's very important. Okay, because otherwise you don't know what's wrong with your proposal. Why don't they like it? What did I do wrong? They don't know. So what we're saying is that they have to provide it. Okay? And depending on the grant agency, a minimum of 3 review reports. Okay? However, the foundations, they don't. They'll give you a straight letter saying that unfortunately due to the huge number of applications, though your idea was good, you cannot fund it. No feedback, no nothing. Okay, they're not going to give you anything. You won't know what it is. Now the other thing is that the federal agency, they have to post in their website the past projects, okay, past awards. They have to make it available. So if you go to nsf.gov, look for it, and you even for the Department of Education, you look for it, and you can see for this specific grant, what did they, award last year? You can see it. You can see, oh, this idea is very similar to mine, but mine is different, slightly different. Okay, so I know this agency funds this. Okay, so it's very important. As you can see here, as I'm talking about all of this, we actually have to do some homework. Okay, we have to try to make sure we understand the process before we start moving forward. I'm just going to share with you a couple of, grant sites. Maybe those are something that would be interesting for you. Grants.gov. There's this nsf.gov, nih.gov. Let's see handout. I use this for another presentation. But there are lots of foundations out there. And Pittsburgh, the greater Pittsburgh area, has, in terms of density, the highest number of private foundations. This is amazing. Okay? Pittsburgh Promise, the Kaufman Foundation, the Mellon Foundation. There's so many out there. Okay? Then at the bottom, there's something called grantforward.com. This is kind of an interesting website there. Let me take you through this. The grants.gov, 26 federal agencies are required to post their grant opportunities in grants.gov. So if it's Department of Education, they have to have it there. Department of Defense, they have to have it there. Okay, so they have to post their grant opportunities in this website. Okay, so this is like a one-stop website where you can find a lot of information about different grant agencies. They have a cool search tool. Again, the search results are as good as how you put in the words. Okay, otherwise you're going to get all these type of different hits. It doesn't matter what you want to do, right? Then there's NSF. Now this is totally focused on science. Okay, so that means we're going to do STEM. Okay, it also funds opportunities for economics that are related to STEM. So it's science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Anything related to that, the National Science Foundation can have it, and its medical counterpart is the National Institute. So the award that I got was from the National Science Foundation. Okay. So again, this is the National Institute of Health, Department of Health and Human Services, and they have to post grant opportunities with them. Now, grantforward.com is another. It's more like, it's not like the other that we talked about. Those are all federal websites. This itself started off as a government project. They felt that, you know what, we have all these grant opportunities. Let's create a website, have a database, put all of this there. But what happened was that over the years, they ran out of money. They have this huge database, okay, 1,000 plus opportunities out there. So they said, you know what, we're going to take this commercial. So they are out there. They have certain rates. Institutional annual membership, 1,820 to 2,940, depending on the size of the institution. Individual annual membership, I think it is $19, but you also have a 14 days free trial period. And I always tell my people that I talk to, that free trial period is what you want to use. If you know what you want, you know your ideas, you can actually, 14 days is a lot of time. Even in 1 or 2 days, you can narrow down the agency that you want to apply. So that's a good thing that you have. I heard that they're getting rid of this soon, hopefully not too soon. Okay, 14 days trial period, but that's something good. Okay, so this is just a